joining us on the Nikki Maduro show. I am Nikki Maduro. She is Kim McAllister. I have my cocktail. It is spring break in the Maduro and the McAllister household. So tons of kids running around all over the place and a ton of news to talk about. So thank you for joining us. Click that thumbs up button and the subscribe button if you have not already done so. We're going to be talking about, obviously, everything that's been happening with the recession, the ups, the downs, the downs, the downs. Is it insider trading if Donald Trump tweets out on Truth Social to buy? I want your thoughts on so much. We'll, of course, be talking about, China, the retaliation, all of that. The breaking news from the Supreme Court regarding the man that was unlawfully deported and Donald Trump being told you got to get that guy back. So much to discuss during today's show. And please let us know in the comments everything you think about that as well. And of course, we'll have some lighter stuff towards the end. But of course, if you can support the show, all the ways to support the show are in the show notes. Our Patreon, Super Chat, Super Stickers are always there. And the number one way to support the show is to share the show, because we have 100, I think we're at 151 people, or 150 people we need to hit that magic 5,000. So if you could share it with your friends, 150 friends, we will get that 5,000. And we've been itching to get it. So thank you guys so much for sharing it with your friends. Okay. How have you guys been? Who's been checking their 401k? Or have you been ignoring it, Kim McAllister? How have you been feeling since I talked to you last Thursday? Let me know in the note.
That there's a couple things that have happened that have kind of given me stress. First of all, at the dinner table, we started talking about Easter. And I'm kind of like, I feel obligated. Like, it's my job as a mom to make the holidays special for everyone. And that includes putting little Easter baskets on the kitchen table when they wake up. You know, there's some lip gloss in there for Julia and maybe like a chocolate bunny and maybe a new shirt, whatever. Like, not going, I don't think going overboard, but perhaps maybe more overboard than my husband would go.
Okay.
And he's like, listen, we have to start acting. Like, there's a recession coming and we're both going to be out of work. People are going to have less money to support shows. There's going to be, the possibility exists that for whatever reason, like, we could both wind up not making very much money and looking for work and whatever else. So he's of the mind, and he's always like, it's his job to catastrophize. All right.
Well, he wants to think ahead. He wants to think of worst case scenario is what you're saying. Right.
It's his job. I mean, it's his job, like his actual job in his work.
Okay. So that's what he's paid to do.
Yes. He's paid to think about what could go wrong and how to make it so it doesn't go wrong. So that's his outlook always, is like, what could go wrong? Look what's happening. And he saw the college fund and the 401k go down. And he's like, we have to prepare. Right.
Right. Okay.
But meanwhile, this is all playing out at the kitchen table with little eyes looking at us, go back and forth about writing about Easter baskets, right? So we go out today, and I take Jacob and his little buddy to a movie. And actually, Julia took them to the movie. And then afterward, we had taken the dog somewhere to be washed. And while we were waiting, Jacob wanted to go buy something, and Julia said, no, we shouldn't, because we need to start saving money. And Jacob's like, oh, you're right. We don't have the money right now to spend. And I said to them, let me worry about that. You guys don't need to worry about that. But I just like having these financial discussions in front of kids. They're listening.
Yeah, and exactly.
They're hearing it. And like, it weighs on them too. Then they start worrying about stuff. So anyway, that's what's happening over here. What's happening with you?
That's a good question, though. And let me know in the comments. Do you think these conversations should be had in front of children? And do you think that there is an age in which they should not be had in front of children? Because there is some sort of argument of age appropriateness, right? Like, should we be putting some sort of, this might be a little too heavy for a certain age, or will they really understand what's going on? Or should you have an age appropriate discussion? Because there is an argument to be said of, even if you are well off, even if you aren't worried, money doesn't grow on trees. You don't want your child to become not aware of, one, the fact that this isn't necessarily their money, right? Like they don't work for this money. You work for this money. So it's not as if, they should just think that, it's their money that they could do with what they want. But on the other hand, I don't want to burden my child or children with this thought that we're going to lose the house. We're not going to have food in the kitchen.
Right.
I don't want them to be losing sleep over that. You know what I'm saying? So Yvonne says teenagers should definitely learn and know the basics.
I agree with that. As far as like, it's important for them maybe to hear us have these conversations and know like what the decisions we're making about money and from different perspectives, and from my perspective and from David's perspective. But then I asked her, so what, is there a certain thing you want in your Easter basket, like a lip gloss that you've been hoping for or something? And she said, I don't need anything. And I was like, and see, then it makes me feel like, oh my God, now she thinks we're, headed for Skid Row or something. I don't know.
See, this is me though. See, and this is, you're going to laugh at me about this. This is why I always set expectations for this kind of nonsense really low. Like I've never been one of these parents that did big Easter baskets. It was always like candy, and I know the chocolate prices are going like way up because of these friggin' tariffs anyway. But and candy in our house isn't a special treat. We just have candy in our house. So it's not like, even when I'm doing an Easter basket, I'm like, well, we just have candy in our house. It's not like I'm not one of these parents that just, it's just a special treat, because I just always feel like it's just around. So it's, there's some parents that do like big things. There's one parent that does bathing suits, which I always found to be genius. Like they get them the bathing suits because this is bathing suit season. And so it kind of makes sense. I've never done anything like that. So there's no sort of expectation. There is the Easter egg hunt. So we do that. And what the Easter bunny does is hide certain things inside said eggs. So that's kind of our tradition, or the Easter bunny's tradition.
You know how this played out, we still do the Easter egg hunt, but you remember what happened a couple years ago?
The Easter bunny completely failed. If you have not, go back and watch how the Easter bunny failed. I think you should make this a tradition now, just because it's so hilarious.
I have to tell, for those of you who don't know, if little ears are listening, then push the pause button. But what happened is, this bunny loads the eggs and leaves them in a bag on the doorknob for the other bunny, who then goes and hides them in the yard. Other bunny slept through. Other bunny didn't get up and hide the eggs. So Jacob goes out to the door and he looks at me and he goes, oh, there's eggs in a bag on the door. And then he starts thinking about it and he's like, why are there eggs on the bag on the door? And I should have been more quicker on the uptake. And I said something like, I think he just got tired and like
lazy ass freaking rabbit.
Why are the eggs? Just go ahead and save you the time and trouble from. He doesn't have to hide them. You don't have to collect them. You get your candy. It's okay. And he goes,
funny.
You're the Easter bunny, aren't you? And I go, and I'm at this point, like, I'm looking at this child who's what, like 4th grade, 9. He's about 9 at this time. And I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I could keep this up and lie to him, but it seems to me the jig is up. Like the moment has arrived where it's time to come clean. So I said to him, yes, I am. And the look of horror on this kid's face, like if you could have, I wish someone was taping it. He's like, if you're the Easter bunny, then you're also Santa, right? And the tooth fairy, right?
I know.
And his heart was broken. And there was crying and there was stomping and there was like freaking out because he was so mad.
His world, like it was just a collapsing of everything. The house of cards had like crumbled.
Down. Yeah.
And one bag of eggs had destroyed this child's life.
One bag of eggs. And that was it.
Childhood destroyed in the McAllister house. Well, I know. Yeah, I blame David, so it's all on him. But yeah, that was hilarious. Sue Ann says, our Easter eggs that the bunny hid were individual seized candies. Ooh, foil-covered chocolate eggs. Easy to hide on door hinges, tops of picture frames, and cheaper than filling plastic eggs, and probably better for the environment.
I always say that if you buy those bags of little bags of candy, those are expensive. It's like $25 for a big bag of candy.
Yeah.
We're paring down this year, Nikki.
Yeah, it's going to be a pare down. And then just the price of real eggs. Like, and I don't like I'm not a big egg eater. This whole egg thing hasn't been really a big thing in my house because I'm not an egg eater. So everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, it really has not been a big deal in the Medoro household at all. But I used to dye actual eggs, and then my husband would sometimes eat. We're not doing that this year because, dude, price of eggs. By the way, still going up, even though Trump seems to claim that they're going down. They're not actually. Jelly beans are actually my choice also. They make Starburst jelly beans, which are my fave. I don't know. I just kind of feel like everything needs to be pared down because of like what your husband was saying. We don't know what's happening.
We don't.
Like yesterday, the market went up. Today it's down again. I know inflation was down a bit. The consumer price index was down, which is good news. I'm not going to ignore good news just because it so happens to happen during the Trump administration. But what's happening now isn't good. Moody's, JPMorgan Chase, they're all putting the percentage of a recession happening at least at 60%. Not that I'm hoping for one. Look, I think that if I had to put my money on anything right now, and I don't even know what Trump is doing, I don't even think Trump knows, what's going to happen next week, besides that his gold card is going to come out. I think he's laser focused on China right now, right? Obviously, with these tariffs and him now it's 145%, right? Because China's not apparently backing down a bit. I just feel like two things are true. Okay. I do understand the idea that we need to change how we trade with China. Okay. I get that. I get that there's, there was a video of Nancy Pelosi that somebody in our comments, and if you want to go back, I don't know if it was this most recent show, but someone in the comments shared it with me, and I apologize. I should have pulled it, but it was back, I think in the 90s, like 96. Where she sounds just like Trump, talking about China and trade and how much money the United States is losing. Okay. And she's saying like almost to the T what Trump is saying, obviously in a different way and probably with like, less harsh terms. But this isn't new, right? What China has been doing and the unfairness of it all. But what I don't like about what Trump is doing, one is the mathematics of it all. One is what he's doing with our allies, right? It is the mechanism in which he's doing it, how he's doing it. And again, similar of Doge, right? A lot of it just seems arbitrary, right? Like there is no point. If you wanted to go after China, if that was your real, go after China then. If that was your real goal. Now, I don't know if you guys watch Shark Tank. Did you? I don't know. Kevin O'Leary.
I'm not a regular watcher, but I've seen clips of it that have been interesting. Yeah.
So Kevin O'Leary, in the past couple of days, this video has been going around. I don't know if you guys have seen it. He thinks Trump is not going hard enough at China, and he makes some really good points. Now, of course, I don't do business. I don't personally do business with China, but America does huge business with China. There would be immediate repercussions for this, but Kevin O'Leary does admit there would be huge repercussions, but believes that if Trump went even harder, that China would back down. So hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me just share this screen real quickly. This is what Kevin O'Leary said about Trump's tariffs.
104% tariffs on China are not enough. I'm advocating 400%. I do business in China. They don't play by the rules. They've been in the WTO for decades. They have never abided by any of the rules they agreed to when they came in for decades. They cheat, they steal IP. I can't litigate in their courts. They take product, technology, they steal it, they manufacture it, sell it back here. Never has an administration
stand 400% tariffs. What would that look like?
Xi on an airplane to Washington to level the playing field. This is not about tariffs anymore. Nobody has taken on China yet, not the Europeans, no administration for decades. As someone who actually does business there, I've had enough. I speak for millions of Americans who have IP that have been stolen by the Chinese. I have nothing against the Chinese people. They brought great literacy, art, and tech to the world. The government cheats and steals. And finally, an administration, you may not like Trump, you may not like his style or his rhetoric. Finally, an administration that puts up and says enough. 400% tariffs tomorrow morning. He'll tell you why. Xi can only stay the supreme leader if people are employed. If we wipe out any business there, because we are still 39% of all consumables on earth and 25% of the world's GDP, America is the #1 economy on earth with all the cards. We will not have that forever. It's time to squeeze Chinese heads into the wall now.
Well, hold on a second, Kevin. Well, I hear you, but hold on. If we're talking about people, this is the average consumer, not necessarily the head honchos of businesses all across the globe, can they withstand the pressure of that sort of tax on the goods?
Short-lived. There will be,
but what's your timeline compared to, you don't know the average American's timeline, what they can actually survive. There's people right now who can't survive.
400% tomorrow morning, cheese on an airplane to Washington to cut a deal.
So he thinks that it would be obviously automatic. And that's my problem with people like Kevin O'Leary and Donald Trump, because that is a huge assumption. And that's what I think Donald Trump is gambling with, right? He's gambling that this is all going to happen, that China's going to negotiate with him, that all of these countries are going to bend to his will. And if they don't, in the meantime, or even if they do, in the meantime, people's 401ks, they're going to be losing while they F around because they have the money to do so, because they're fine. And that's the problem that I have with it. Kevin O'Leary's fine. Oh, I lost. If you can lose millions, you're fine.
Yeah.
But there's people that can't lose thousands. And that's what pisses me off about it. And there's no plan for these people.
I saw people in the chat that lost so many thousands of their 401k. It took such a big hit that they have to they're thinking about getting a job at age 70 and going back to work because they don't have the money they thought they would have to retire.
I mean, again, unless they're retiring today, right? Then yes. But I'm not retiring today. I did not. Did you? I mean, okay, I'm going to be full disclosure. I got out of the 401k market. I mean, a long time ago. I don't have a 401k because I don't work for a business anymore. I took my 401k when I got laid off and I converted it into a Roth IRA a long ass time ago, right? Like when I got laid off, there's no one contributing to my 401k. And so I converted it into a Roth. But still, right? Still, the stock market still impacts my investments, right? It's still impacting that. I don't want to look at it. I didn't look at it, right?
So if you're banking on the fact that you have, you're going to retire at a certain age and you have this much money per year for however many years you've planned that your life is going to last, right? Most of us probably have to plan into our mid 90s or 100 just in case, right? And then you see it shrink, the panic sets in that, I didn't save enough, or I don't have enough, or it's not time for me to stop working yet. Now I got to go back and get a job again and figure out how I can save more so that while I'm whatever age the person was 70, that I can work now so that in the 80s, when they're in their 80s, they won't have this problem. People are worried. People are definitely worried.
And then there's a part where it's like there's only so much control that you have on it, right? There's only so much that you can do. That I mean, what are you guys doing in the meantime, right? I saw this one woman, I'm not going to name her, but the tone deafness of it all, right? It's like, well, now is a good time to buy a home because people can't use their stock to buy a home. So if you have cash saved for a home, and it's like, and I understood what she was saying, and she's a very nice lady, and I understood what, like, you don't have to compete with people that were using stock, but it's like people just don't have the money. They're not going to buy a house right now, right? Like, it's just, I know that we live in an expensive area. People are listening, like in the Bay Area, but a lot of people, even if you live in an expensive area, are living paycheck to paycheck, right? It's just not feasible for so many people. And then there is this idea of what is actually the end game, right? Because on one hand, Donald Trump is like, I want to negotiate with everybody. And we talked about this last week. It's non-negotiable. It's going to be permanent. And then he wants to negotiate. I want to bring manufacturing back. Do you want to bring manufacturing back, or do you want to just negotiate trade? Which is it? And that's the other thing. I don't think we want to bring to manufacturing back again. Did you see the I have to play it, and I'm sure many of you have seen it. The AI ad that China created.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen this?
Mm-mm. I was gonna play a Chip Franklin video that it's, you know, what's funny is my husband saw it and I go, I didn't know you were watching Chip Franklin videos. He goes, oh yeah, they show up on my feed sometimes. I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
Chip Franklin did this video about everything that's going on, and in it he has a cut from Howard Letnick. I think it's Letnick, who's talking about how new jobs will be coming to America, manufacturing jobs, and he references the little screws that have to be screwed in to iPhones and to whatever else, and how that's going to be our new job. We're going to be sitting around screwing in little screws. You think Americans are going to sit around screwing in little screws for, I don't know, what are you going to pay them? $14 an hour?
No, there was somebody that was talking about if it was today, I think it was on CNBC, and they were saying, just ballpark, if you were going to buy a pair of $150 running shoes today, just with the tariffs alone, not bringing the manufacturing back, slapping it with the Made in America, $300. No American wants to pay $300 for their shoes. Keep manufacturing it in China. Keep manufacturing it in Vietnam or wherever. There's a reason why we manufacture it out there, because it is cheaper. Unless you want to pay $300 for those shoes. Do you? America needs to answer that question. And that's the question I don't think Donald Trump actually asked Americans. Did you do a survey? Do Americans want to sit in a factory? No. And the answer is no, they don't. It's going to be automated. So when you say that you want to bring manufacturing back, you're not bringing American jobs back. It's going to be little robots that are going to screw in all of those screws for the iPhones and then still charge you an exorbitant amount of money for that phone because they slapped a Made in America sticker on it, because they still had to build the factory in the United States with all of the hoops that we talked about last week, right? I mean, this is what I don't think we were, asked about. And Luis, thank you for the $5 donation. He writes, so when these jobs come back, will they be at the exploitive daily rates that exist in other countries we've been profiting from? $5 a day, anyone? No. Exactly. No, of course not. Of course
Americans won't tolerate that. Sorry, but I guess you could argue, it could get bad enough that, we could toss all the work rules that we have and we could go back to, what the days of factory work and all of this, and we'll do anything if it gets bad enough. Is that the society you wanted? If it gets bad enough, we'll do anything? Because that's not the society I was hoping for. People allegedly voted for Trump. I think it was because they were angry and racist, but they voted for, my bad, I'm sorry if that's you. But I think the allegation was we voted for Trump because we wanted prices at the grocery store to come down.
And we
felt it in our pocketbook.
Yeah. So this is the AI video that China is putting out. Do we think that this is going to happen? This is not going to happen. This is what China thinks America is going to do. No. We're not going to have.
Does China think everyone in America is chunky?
No, we're not going to do this either. Because they do that, right? Yeah. They do that. They're superimposing, and that's like an AI video. Mm-hmm. They're superimposing because they have people that do that. But we're not going to do that.
No.
We're not going to have American jobs. And he keeps saying American jobs. We're going to bring American. No, you're not. Not at least in every job. I mean, maybe in construction, right? The steel building. Yeah. I mean, if you actually build these plants, if that's actually going to happen. Apple flew the iPhones from China before the tariff kicks in, right? Yeah. It's just, yeah. Teacher Lori says, read an article where a guy who was in the middle of building some new USA factories now had to recalculate all his costs due to tariffs and says he'll have to charge a lot more for his product. Yep. Of course. Yep. People that signed contracts months ago and are importing, they're like, wait a minute, it was supposed to cost this much. Now you're screwing them, right? And again, the lack of a plan. So Ann says, U.S. is a service-oriented country now, not primarily manufacturing-based. Again, Trump is living in the 80s, right? Like that's what everyone keeps saying. He's not living in the current economy.
We saw during the pandemic that maybe having everything made overseas and just buying it here doesn't work out for us all the time. Like,
of course not.
Remember when personal protective equipment, the PPE, was all made in China and other countries, and then people were asking, why can't we make it here? Why don't we have at least one factory making this stuff here? And so then there was a push to get, American plants to open to at least have one mask producer in the United States. And so maybe down the road, if we're looking for something like that, for a backup plan, for emergencies, for whatever, that's a great idea. But, as I've heard repeatedly, when you have these tariffs with the idea of the big picture in the long run, take pharmaceuticals. Trump is saying his next goal is to put tariffs on our medications. All right. So what's that going to do? It's going to shoot up the price of medications for us. People who already, many of them can't afford their medicines that they take. And they're having to make hard choices between, do I get my medicine or do I eat tonight? Or do I pay my rent? Right. And then he says, well, if that happens, you see then and people won't be able to buy their medicines, then these companies will have no choice but to build factories in the United States and manufacture this medicine in the US.
Right.
Really? So how much more is that going to cost for the medicine?
And how long is that going to take?
And how long is it going to take?
People are going to die.
Yes, people will die. People will absolutely die. But his big picture is so much more important than the health and well-being of the American people.
Again, lack of a plan. That's
not a plan.
How can
you be a MAGA? How can you be like, I don't understand. Do they not get it? Like, what planet do they live on?
It's
what la la land are they skipping through?
Yeah. And honestly, the thing that pisses me off so much is the fact that over the past week, the flip-flopping, right? Like everyone's saying it's permanent and then it's not permanent. And he's never going to cave. And then he caved. And then the explanation, this was always the plan. He's making fools out of everyone that's been on his side. And he could give two shits. You know what I mean? He went golfing over the weekend while our economy was crashing. And then I'm sure you saw the clip. He's on Air Force One. And the first question is about the friggin' golf tournament. I won the golf tournament. Like, oh my God. I don't know how anybody can look at this guy as if he's a true leader of this country. Your country economy is cratering at the time. And the first question out of the people you allow on Air Force One is about a fucking golf tournament that is basically in your honor and you get to win. It gets so freaking stupid. Suanne says, my drug is made in Ireland. Last month's copay for the new drug was $1,965. No clue if I can afford it long term, especially if Trump lifts Medicare spending cap. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sue-Ann. Yeah, Vicky, like lowering prescription drug costs. Exactly. I mean, and again, we are supposed to be one of the richest countries in the world.
Right.
And we act like, and I see you guys in the comments. Oh, Trump needed to do this. We're not bankrupt, poorly managed, right? I mean, yes, we have a lot of debt, but a lot of debt versus like what we're doing now is two totally different things. The dollar is supposed to carry weight. The bond market, I mean, people are supposed to want to buy US bonds. That was not happening today, right?
I think that's what caused the panic. That's what caused Trump to blink.
Are you kidding me? I think someone says people would rather buy bonds from Greece versus from the United States. If that doesn't tell you anything, I don't know what does. He says Donald Trump is living in the 1880s. Maybe he can bring back indentured servitude. The world is down with MAGA. Make America go away. Even Canada and the Brits hate us. They don't hate us, though. I really do feel like they hate Donald Trump's mentality. I hope people understand that there is a difference, because I think everybody knows this is a self-created crisis, a Donald Trump created crisis. The fact that our economy was as bad, if not worse, than it was in COVID, and he did it all by himself. There was nobody else. He did it. Like, he didn't have to do it this way. There could have been a plan. Like, you can do things. You can fix things like government waste, right? Like trade, with plans and actual negotiation. You want to do something with China? Fine. Negotiate with China. Play hardball with China. Don't F with our allies. Don't make the entire world freaking hate us. It's like a pissing contest, and he's the only one that's pissing all over the world. And I just don't. And it's not the problem we wanted him to fucking fix.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, we want healthcare, damn it. We want actual problems fixed here. That wasn't
the prices
what we
to come down at the grocery store, right? There were all the things that you promised. But the thing is, he did say this. He did tell the world that he was going to do this. He did say, remember him talking about tariffs during the run-up to the election?
He did, yes.
We knew this was coming. We warned people. You know what tariffs mean, right? Tariffs mean we pay more.
Yes.
We warned everyone.
But it's not like it was one of our issues is what I meant. You know what I mean? It was
voted for him anyway. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, as I've repeatedly said ad nauseum, Americans get the government that America deserves. America gets the America that we all deserve. And so I guess because people voted for him knowing this was the road he was going down, we collectively, not you and I or us, we deserve it. Because that's where we voted. So when you say you hope the world knows that it wasn't us, it really was us. Collectively as a country, we're the ones that said we want that guy.
I did not.
I'm just saying, collectively.
Well, you know what? I will say this. And Bernie Sanders, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they are making their tour, right? Stop the oligarchy. They're stopping in on the 12th. I believe they're going to be in Auburn. And on the 15th, they're going to be in LA. I wish I could stop at the Auburn one, but it's in the middle of the week.
It's so interesting. Are they skipping the Bay Area?
I know. They are.
Why Auburn, but not like Sacramento or like?
I feel like Auburn because LA. LA is LA, but I feel like Auburn is closer to red country. I feel like they're trying to get into the more red areas, perhaps. Sam, thank you so much for the $10. Sometimes I cannot believe all of this is happening. Not one thing I can be happy about. I love you guys. Oh, Sam, I'm happy to see you here. And thank you so much for the donation. Yep. I feel that way too. But again, and I always say this, what gets me through it, there's a lot of things I try to do, is to focus on the things we want. And that brings me to Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I wish that I could go and see them in Auburn. But you do have to, donate and put your energy towards it. Bernie Sanders was on CNN and kind of was giving Anderson Cooper a shit because he wants the mainstream media to talk more about it. Here he is on there, and they're getting a lot of traction, I will say, for this tour. Here he is.
But I want to talk about.
I know.
No, I want to, sometimes these issues about healthcare, about income and wealth inequality are not talked about in the corporate media. And it's time that we did talk about them. That's why the question a moment ago, why are people losing faith in the American system? We don't talk about it on CNN. We don't talk about it in Congress. It's because they understand that a handful of billionaires exert enormous influence. And that has got to change. So when I'm running around the country with Alexandria and other people, what we are trying to do is demand that working class people begin to stand up and fight for their rights. There is no reason we should be the only major country not to have healthcare, not to have paid family and medical leave, et cetera, why we have the highest rate of childhood poverty, almost any major country. 22% of our seniors living on $15,000 a year. Anybody here think that makes sense? All right, it doesn't. But you got to get CNN to talk about these issues. You got to get your members of Congress to talk about these issues.
We're literally talking about it right now.
Yeah, but I'm forcing you to talk about it, Anderson.
This is Joel. We invited you. This is Joel Pritikin. He's a student.
I mean, I do think that Bernie Sanders, yes, they're doing a town hall. The point I think Bernie was making, though, is that they're just doing a town hall. People are not going to just watch town halls on CNN. They have to blanket it like they blanket Trump news constantly, over and over. Why doesn't America have health care? Why are we not talking about it as much as we talked about friggin' eggs or they're eating the dogs and the cats, right? We don't talk about the issues that actually impact us every effing day. Why do dogs and cats get more airtime?
Because it's so outrageous, right? It's so over the top outrageous.
It is outrageous. We don't have universal health care.
Yes.
It is outrageous. And we're just not outraged enough over it because we're used to getting screwed day after day that it's not outrageous anymore to us. And it should be. It should be.
What you're looking at, the graphic on the screen is from berniesanders.com/oligarchy. And this is the bus tour against oligarchy. It's Tuesday, April 15th in Bakersfield. Then you've got Tuesday, April 15th in Folsom as well. So it looks like they're doubling
two on the 15th. Oh, yeah. And it's in Folsom, not Auburn. I guess they moved it to Folsom. Thank you for correcting me.
And then there's April 12th in Los Angeles as well. So.
Oh, so it's the 12th in Los Angeles and the 15th in Folsom. Oh, I got my dates mixed up. Okay. Well, okay. So the 15th in Folsom, but still Tuesday. Damn it. I mean, I can't. I would love to see them. I honestly would love to go hear them talk. Honestly.
10 a.m. at the Folsom Lake College Athletic Track. And then it looks like at the Dignity Health Arena Theater and Convention Center in Bakersfield as well.
Yeah, I would love to go. I would love to go see him. I mean, driving to LA on a Saturday, just there and back is a bit much. But yeah, I mean, I could watch it online. But yeah, if anyone's going to go, let me know how it is. It's historic if they could make inroads. I was seeing some polling, and I know it's just some polling, that AOC was polling higher than Schumer. And not that it means much, right? But there has to be a drastic change within the Democratic Party. They have to get it together. It is absolutely ridiculous. Oh, now don't tempt me with a good time, Phineas. I mean, now you're tempting me with a really good time. I'm so frustrated because we know what this country needs. And I'm using the we as in the Democratic Party. And the Progressive Party, I'll just throw it in there. We know what the country needs. We need universal health care at the very, very least. Paid family leave. Oh my God, I cannot believe. I mean, I know people bag on California, but at least we have that. You know what I mean? There's so many things that I just can't believe. Other countries look at us like we're crazy that we don't have. And we still bitch and moan as if, oh, that could never work. Ugh, other countries are crazy that they have it. Really? I'm we're nuts that we don't have it still. And we hold on to the system. We pay taxes for the option of getting health care. We pay so much in taxes and get jack shit for so much of it. You know what I mean? Like, I understand why people don't want to pay their taxes. April 15th is coming up. Oh my God. Anyone else pissed off when they have to pay their taxes? I just can't believe it.
I have a family member who owes 10 grand. And he said it feels like I'm writing a check for 10 grand, but right to Trump.
$10,000.
I know.
They must make a lot of money. I'm assuming. I hope they make a lot of money.
I don't.
They better make a lot of money because they're paying 10 grand.
But perhaps they mismanaged it. I don't know. Yeah.
Louise, thank you again for the $5 donation. I love the passion, ladies. Love the show. So appreciate you. I'm off to see The Amateur. I don't know the movie. I saw the Minecraft movie. And I thought it was pretty good. So there we go.
Nice.
Louise, thank you.
Thank you, Louise.
You know, and I know we get passionate about Trump, and I know that oftentimes it's a lot of the same. I know I hear it in the comments when I go back and I read the comments, and I'm really trying to be better about and sometimes people say, oh, you guys are erasing comments. And if anybody is watching this on the replay, I never delete comments ever. I have never in my life.
I don't, not on this show, but on other shows I will. If they're in all caps or if they're completely offensive, then I'll take them down.
The written ones in the YouTube comments on the bottom, not in this.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just mean live ones. No.
I've never did a comment in any of them because
it has to be pretty egregious for me to take it away.
But anyways, I don't. But I try to respectfully respond to people. Like I responded to the guy that gave me the Nancy Pelosi China trade video. But I've really been trying to not see the other side because I am sorry. Donald Trump might have a point about something, but his way of addressing it is, in my opinion, wrong. It just is. He does not know his ass from his mouth. I'm sorry. He just doesn't. So it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sorry. He's the wrong person to lead this country 100%.
Yeah.
The wrong person. And anybody trying to tell me otherwise has drank the Kool-Aid. Like there is anyone better than Donald Trump. He just sucks ass. So I will die on that hill. I will absolutely die on that hill.
I digress, but Louise is going to see this movie called The Amateur, which I just looked up. Listen to this.
Oh, I do want to see that movie. Actually, I know exactly what you're talking about. And yes, I do want to see that movie.
Here's what it says. When his supervisors at the CIA refuse to take action after his wife is killed in a London terrorist attack, a decoder takes matters into his own hands. Rami Malek, Rachel Brosnahan, and John Bernthal.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the movie. We're going to do a little bit of a movie review right now. I went to go see Novocaine.
Oh.
Anyone in the comments seen Novocaine and watched it like this? And you guys know I love my gory movies. Oh my God. Fun movie. Oh my God. Gory. Just brutally gory. Funny, gory, but gory. Anyways, I saw Amateur Hours preview and that looks really good. I think there's another one called The Sinners that looks hella good. It's like a vampire movie. And that looks really good. There's a lot of good movies coming up. Rami Malek, though, looks really good in that Amateur movie, so that's on my watch list. But
I have one to tell you about it. I know it's not your horror movie. It's not your typical movie that you would watch. It's a rom-com.
I like rom-coms. I like all movies. Just make me feel something.
And it's streaming on Netflix. I was talking to Tim Seco about it earlier today, and he said this movie should have gone to theaters. And it's one of these movies that's so good that you click on it and you watch it and it's a surprise. I thought I was just clicking on a movie while I folded laundry and I got so into it. I was laughing. I was crying. It's called The Life List.
I never seen The Life List.
You gotta watch it.
Sophia Carson?
It's on Netflix. It's so good.
For everyone who's still figuring it. Okay. I'll put that on my watch list. I've been making my way through I'm making my way through the old Final Destination movies, even though it's the same movie over and over and over again. So, Mr. Robot was a great series. Rami Malek, I think, entered the conversation as an actor with that. Novocaine. Funny. So Novocaine is about a guy that can't feel pain. So that's basically and then there's like a whole other storyline, but and there's a bank robbery and a girl and all that kind of stuff. Not going to give it away, but that's the basic thing. So it's a guy that can't feel pain. So then everything that happens to him is just
we really know how awful. To digress.
I know we digress. Sorry guys, but anyways, if you're looking for movie reviews, well, that's fine because we need to stop talking about Trump. Because I could just go off and off and off and off. Although we do have to get to some other interesting things. By the way, the Supreme Court has ordered the Trump administration to get back that guy. Right? This story blows my mind because. And I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud that everybody else was saying. If this dude was white, he would be home by now. Okay. Yeah. I'm just going to say it. Like, there is no effing way that if this dude was just okay. And also didn't have a green card, right? Or whatever. Like, I understand there's other things involved, but Kilmar Abrego Garcia from El Salvador was wrongfully deported. He's a Maryland father, did nothing wrong.
Here legally.
He was here legally. Mm-hmm. He was arrested on March 12th. So almost a month. He's a Salvadorian national. And he was picked up and they said, oh, this is an MS-13 gang member. No, not at all. And so he's thrown in El Salvador with like the worst of the worst. And this guy has done nothing wrong. I want you to understand and just imagine how horrifying that has to be. And then imagine court slow rolling. You know what I mean? Like, this is the thing, like, as a wife, and yes, Gordon's like, his wife's a citizen. Yes, his wife's an American citizen. Has 3 kids. Imagine every night going to bed knowing your husband is in this dangerous place he's not supposed to be. I mean, day, night. And they're just debating it.
Imagine being the person that sent him there. And then you find out he's mistakenly being sent there. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
No.
And you know what Trump says? Trump says, we don't want them back. That's what he legitimately said.
American citizens in the federal prison population. Is that one of the ideas they're going to be discussing?
Well, I love that. If we could take some of our 20-time wise guys that push people into subways and that hit people over the back of the head and that purposely run people over in cars, if he would take them, I'd be honored to give them. I don't know what the law says on that, but I can't imagine the law would say anything different. If they can house these horrible criminals for a lot less money than it costs us, I'm all for it. But I'd only do according to the law. But I have suggested that, why should it stop just at people that cross the border illegally? We have some horrible criminals, American grown and born.
So that's Trump.
The president there said he would be willing to take American citizens.
Yeah, that's Trump talking about how it doesn't stop at people who are here in an undocumented fashion, that he's okay with sending American citizens, U.S. citizens, scooping them up if you've committed a crime, if he feels is outrageous, and
no
sending
due process,
you to
I'm sure. Yeah.
American citizens. This is a guy who clearly doesn't understand the Constitution, the rule of law in America, or our way of life.
No, exactly. And this is the thing. He doesn't believe in due process either. And this, I don't think people truly understand this. If he can allow people to just be picked up because they think you're not a citizen and you don't get your day in court, anybody can be picked up. I mean, do you understand that?
That's right.
I could be picked up if somebody looks at me and they're like, your skin's just a little bit too brown. And I don't even get to prove that. If let's say I get picked up and I don't have my wallet on me. right? And I'm like, no, I'm a US citizen. And they're like, nope, we're pulling you. You might have a tattoo on you that just matches somebody. Nope. I don't get a day in court. I don't get any representation. I get put on a plane and I get flown out. Like, what the hell are we talking about here, people? What are we talking about? Who are we?
It reminds me of that poem. First, they came for the socialists, right? Then they came for the trade unionists. Then they came for the Jews. Then they came for, and it goes on.
Exactly. And when
you've got to fight for the people that are the first to go, because pretty soon
they're going to come for you.
Everybody, right? Who knows who they're coming for next? Are they coming for us because we disagree with them? Are they coming for you because, maybe you look like you could have some beautiful caramel color in your skin? Is that why they're coming for you? You don't know who they're coming for, and you don't know why.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I just don't understand, when does it stop? When do people, and again, it's as if nobody wants to call him out on it, because again, if we want to use the word brilliant or smart or not, but whatever, dangerous is what the word I would use. He has insulated himself now, right? He didn't make the mistake he made the first time. He has insulated himself with effing morons who don't know how to do their job. I mean, did you watch the cabinet meeting today? Oh my God. Watching a cabinet meeting is so annoying. Simply because it's a just circle jerk of people that just need to kiss his ass. I mean, it is awful. Like, how's that going? Can I just say that it is just so awesome that you have done the most amazing things for America? They all have to kiss his ass at the end of their speech.
If you don't say that, annoying. You're in trouble.
It is
if you
so
don't
annoying.
Agree with him on everything and you don't kiss ass, then you are in trouble. He's investigating. He launched investigations into people that were with him the last time around, that stood up against what happened on January 6th or what happened with the election, his election denying type of thing. Yeah. And now he's investigating them. Even if you are a conservative or a Republican or are MAGA, if you disagree with him on one thing, he's coming after you.
It's so scary. And it's one of these things where the courts, are allowing a lot of this. Now, I'm happy that the Supreme Court, that to retrieve him, and I know I'm seeing in the comments, people are saying the guy's dead. I hope he's not, but they're 9-0. I was really happy to see 9-0. You got to go get him. If that guy is not alive, I don't know. I don't know.
I think it's Trump admitting a sign of weakness by saying, we can't get him. He's in another country now. Because first of all, it doesn't make sense. If you really can't get him, then how could you get that country to agree to take all these prisoners anyway?
Right.
You must have lines of communication open with them.
Right.
And if they're willing to bend over backwards to help the United States and to make money from you putting your prisoners there, then certainly they're willing to play ball and give one or two back that you've made a mistake on.
I thought that he was the deal maker. Make a freaking deal. Make a deal with them.
He can't do it. He can't.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't
weakness.
Want to.
He's I just said, as I mentioned, he doesn't want these people back. He doesn't want them. He says, once you're gone, you're gone. They were immigrants anyway. They don't matter to him.
Exactly. And look at all the students in colleges that are getting their student visas taken away. I mean, and we don't even know why. We don't even know why they're getting their student visas. Marco Rubio is just saying, yeah, they've done something wrong. They've done something wrong. That's it. That's all the explanation, that during a routine check that they're getting their student visas revoked. Now, I have no idea. But when I hear a quote or read a quote from Marco Rubio saying, every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa, to me, it screams you have no idea, because they can't all be lunatics, or we would have heard they've done something, correct? Like, what did they do? What are they connected to? Were they arrested for something? Why did we not hear about this? It seems like there's always this cloak of zero information, zero, They don't want to specify who it is, what they did. Why not? Why do we not know any of the information? Now, last week, the University of California's president's office said it was aware that international students across several campuses have been impacted by the terminations. They say the situation is fluid. They would not detail how many students at each of their 10 campuses had been affected. The Chronicle reported last weekend that students across UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Davis had their visas revoked. We also know UC Berkeley and Stanford also had students' visas revoked during a quote unquote routine check of the visa system. But they will not give any official reason for why they revoked those visas. And I also was listening to the news today that the number of migrants also that are being deported were not on any sort of criminal list either, which was what Trump said he was going to do first. But then I saw, and did you see this headline, that Donald Trump is now saying that if farmers want to keep some of their migrants, that he just has to let them know which ones they want to keep for legal status. So he suggested today that farmers will be able to petition the federal government to retain some farm workers in the U.S. illegally, provided the workers leave the country and then return with legal status. I don't buy it, but whatever.
I don't either.
He says the most detail the administration has provided on the fate of the nation's farm workers without legal status, who make up obviously the farm workers workforce, for these mass deportations. Now, the industry groups, the farm industry groups, have warned that deporting agricultural workers would grind the food system to a halt. In addition to what the tariffs are doing, right? In addition to what the tariffs are doing. So we have the tariffs. We have farm workers. We have picking season, right? Like right around the freaking corner. Like, I don't think that he understands the confluence of BS that is happening right now. And it's all on him. I don't know, Kim.
Let me add this to the shit Sunday. Here you go. Look at this. Here's the headline. The White House has marked 6,000 migrants as dead so that they self-deport.
What?
So this is a story about taking migrants who have social security numbers, right? Marking 6,000 of them dead. When you do that, according to people familiar with the story, say that they add the names and social security numbers of more than 6,000 immigrants, mostly Latino people, to a database used to track dead people, which then strips them of their ability to access benefits or to work in the United States. Part of a scheme by the Trump administration to target immigrants who are undocumented but who have social security numbers, for whatever reason, which allow them benefits like Medicaid, unemployment insurance, and federal student loans. So here's what we have. And they say he's delivering on his promise he made to the American people. I would argue, as you just mentioned, he is not delivering on his promise.
No.
His promise was to deport the worst of the worst.
Exactly.
Right? Go after the hardened criminals that are here, that are attacking the Laken Rileys or the Kate Steinleys or whoever else. Go after those people, which, by the way, there wouldn't be too many of. Right? Go after those people and leave everyone else alone. That's not what's happening at all.
Agolf Twitter posts something that I was thinking about also. He says, grow a garden because this fall's going to hurt. How many of you are doing that? I was also watching this. My husband loves to watch these stupid freaking shows. But like prepper shows or History Channel shows. Anyways, it was one on these. It was one on kind of preppers, right? So they build these bunkers and all those sorts of things. And I always think the same thing. Every time I watch one of these things, I always think preppers want something bad to happen. Not that I think that they're praying for it to happen, but at some point when you put a ton of money into something, you're kind of sitting around being like, all right, I want to play with my new toy, right? Like it's you have no problem with it happening. So why try to stop it from happening kind of thing, right?
Mhm.
So how many of you are kind of preparing for the S storm? I mean, I'm not a gardener. I love planting things and then walking away. I'm the worst person to give a plant to. Like the worst. My best friend has the greenest of thumbs. The greenest. And my mom too. They love giving me stuff. And I go, "Why are you handing me this poor innocent plant with so much promise? I am going to murder this thing." Succulents do great because they could just live on their own, but I'm the worst. Like I know enough people that grow enough stuff that I'll just go over there and eat their stuff. But I'm like, I'm gonna be like an MRE type of kid. You know what I mean? Like we're eating the freeze dried stuff. I do not have a green thumb. I probably could, but my memory is just no. I just no. Do you grow anything?
I don't. We have a couple things. We have some artichokes that we're growing in the front yard.
I love artichokes.
We have a cherry tree and an apple tree
I have an
and
orange
a
tree.
fig tree and an orange tree and a lemon tree. So there's some produce growing, but that I don't have to do anything for because it's just there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of canners. Like people love to can stuff.
Yeah.
I have a friend that lives down like in the Hollister area, and her husband, like, I mean, they're great at that. Like they make so much stuff. I wish I was one of those people. I really do. I just, I'm jealous of people that do that. I wish I had that, like that gene, that itch to do it. Yeah, I just wasn't born with that gene though. Dave says I'm fully prepped. Nikki's husband and I would get along great. Garden, freeze-dried food, water from a well, solar, battery backup, ham radios. Wow. Yeah, I mean,
is your husband the same way? Like a disaster preparedness?
No, I mean, but he has like MREs. He has like the military grade. So we wouldn't eat good or well, but I wouldn't probably die. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be yummy, but I wouldn't die. You know what I mean? Like it'd be one of those questions. Did you die? No, I didn't die. I didn't like thrive. And my husband loves watching all those, alone in the forest thing. So hopefully, I have this, just to go off on a tangent. There was who knows the name of this movie? Because I don't know the name of this movie. There was a Justine Bateman. Okay. So we're pulling out our age here. There was a Justine Bateman movie where she was like left in the forest somewhere. There was some sort of tragedy. Don't ask me the tragedy. And she had to like survive in a forest and she'd never done it before. That's all I remember about the movie. And nobody thought that she would be able to survive, but she did. I always imagine that would be me, but I really think in reality, I would probably curl up in a ball and die if that actually happened. Like if the apocalypse came, nah, I don't know if I really don't know if I'd survive without my husband. Without my husband,
you would. You would find a way because you have kids. If
it was just me. Oh no. If it was my kids, like yeah, but if it was just me in the forest,
you'd be like, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's looking bleak.
I want to throw
the
another.
Night's falling. I'm hearing scary things. I don't know, man. I might be dying.
I have one more immigration story to throw at you. You ready for this?
Right.
This is from today. The things that
stop ideas.
Yeah, ideas. I'm not even kidding to you. Okay.
What are they talking about?
There was a post that was made. It was a now deleted media post, but ICE declared itself basically the border thought police, according to Huffington Post. And here's what they wrote. They said, hold on, I have to get to what they said. These are the things that they want to crack down on.
Stop thinking.
Stop thinking. You're not allowed to think. Right. So it was deleted. They said I hope so. Their agents are at work trying to enforce more than 400 federal laws to prevent the following from crossing the border illegally. Okay.
Okay.
People, money, products, and ideas.
What the hell?
We don't want
How
those
do you
ideas.
stop that? How do you stop an idea?
You don't want those ideas coming in. You don't want them.
Yeah. I mean, how do you stop that? I mean, did anybody ask that question? Well, that's the next question you ask. How do you stop an idea from crossing the border?
You mentioned the people at colleges and universities that are being deported for what? For their ideas, right? For their opinions, their ideas, their thoughts on international issues, their thoughts on wars, their thoughts on how the United States is interacting with other countries and supporting, wars or not, or whatever. And so I think that's part of the thought police. And this, I would argue, is 100% anti-American.
Oh my God.
Whether you're here on a student visa or whether you're a United States citizen or whether you're here illegally or in an undocumented fashion, when you're standing on American soil, it shouldn't be like you're standing on Chinese soil where you can't say certain things. You should be able to speak your mind and say what you want. This is part of our American tradition, part of what makes us us.
Exactly.
And so when you tell me that you're trying to stop ideas from crossing the border along with people, money, and products, then I'm looking at you askance thinking, that's not American. That's not what we do here. Come on, really? So what, are they going to give you a survey at the border? How do you feel about Trump? How do you feel about tariffs? How do you feel about the war in Ukraine? How do you feel about the Palestinians? How do you feel about Gaza? What's your opinion on Israel? You have to answer all the questions and check all the boxes that Trump agrees with before they let you in?
Probably. How do you feel about, they're going to probably take a survey. And unless you pass it all, you don't get in. Probably. I think you're probably,
Yeah. Huffington Post asked ICE, what do you mean by ideas? And they didn't respond, only to say the post was sent without proper approval and it shouldn't have been shared. Okay.
Without proper approval. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me at all. That sounds just like something that Trump would want to do.
Agree with me or you're out.
And it sounds like something, the whole idea of and don't even let ideas through. Trump would say something like that. You know what I mean? He probably is the one that came up with that stupid idea. Don't even let their ideas through unless they agree with me, because that's dangerous to him. Right. That's him. Anybody that disagrees with me, I don't want them around me. Well, how dare you? That's his philosophy. Don't disagree with me or you're out. And he's taken that to a national level. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. So
and these are the people that say that support him, that say we're the most patriotic. We're the ones that believe in America. We fly the American flag, right? All of the rest of you people that, disagree with Trump or are of different genders or of different colors or whatever, basically everybody that makes up America, the melting pot, the beautiful parts of it, right? They are American, but we somehow are lacking on our Americanism. Yeah, right. I would argue, no. Anyone who can sit by and say, we deport ideas. You have people in this country. You've seen it at protests, Nazis marching down with their horrible messages and their hate-filled flags and whatever else. And there's Jewish people standing there. God, it makes me cry because it's the most beautiful part of our country. Jewish people standing there saying, listen, I don't like what you say, but I respect your right to say it.
But you can say it.
And not only do I respect your right to say it, I'll stand up for your right to say it.
Exactly.
And
because that's what we died for. That's what people died for, to protect.
That's America. That's what makes us special, stand out, different. And you're now telling me you're going to let this guy come in here and restrict ideas at the border? That's who we've become? Yes. That's not the country I want.
Well, it's somebody that,
I guess
skipped out on serving in the military. He has no actual pride in this country. He doesn't. He has pride. He only cares about himself. That's it. He believes in Trump, right? That's why he has the hat that says Trump was right about everything. Who makes a hat like that? I mean,
What?
I mean,
It's a shocker.
It's so it's insane. And then people are like, yeah, that's normal. People think that's normal and follow this dude. It's so crazy. It is so nuts.
Truth. It wasn't the ultra conservatives or Republicans who used to say you commie lib, right?
Yeah.
Egolf says new rule. If you support an ex-KGB Russian dictator and his conquest of Eastern Europe, then you can no longer call other people commies.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, Donald Trump is just, proves time and again that he's absolutely the worst. Exactly. He's a draft dodger. He wants to have a military parade. He says, it's for my birthday and the Army's 250th anniversary. My ass. It's going to be all about him. He's so annoying. He's so freaking annoying. Whatever. It's supposed to be in June when his birthday is. Whatever. He's just all about himself. He's just all about himself. Heather says the day he finally bites down on the old dirt sandwich, I'm popping a bottle of Dom.
Clearly, we don't wish well on anyone, but
never wish death on anybody. Yes.
I respect what she says and her right to say it.
Exactly. Free speech. Exactly.
Goodness.
Phineas, I really don't talk. I do talk politics with my husband occasionally. I've said this time and again. I've really been trying to protect my mental health this term. I really am. I'm doing a lot this term to protect my mental health. So no, I have not talked about that with him. So I'll leave it at that. I will leave it at that. I'm going to be hanging out with my parents tomorrow. My dad is a Trumper. I do not talk. I try not to talk politics with my dad because there's no progress in that. So when silence is sometimes stronger. You know what I mean? It does more. It does more than speaking to some people, right? So you save it. You save it till it matters. You save it for moments in which it matters. Having a conversation with a person where it will make no difference only drains yourself. That's what I believe. So there's no point in using my energy and draining my mental health on people where I know that's already spoken for. You know what I mean? So
I would
that's
like
done.
to think that there are people that voted for Trump and were full on MAGA that did it because they somehow thought they were going to get a leg up financially, right?
Yeah.
They thought that the stock market was going to go up. They were looking for costs to come down and stocks to go up, and they were looking for money. And now, that's Julia. And now where you see the chaos and you see the stock market going down, and maybe they're watching their 401ks go down, and maybe they're looking at the lead stories about the ideas being policed at the border, and maybe they're having second thoughts. Maybe it'll take a few more of these headlines before they go, oh, I see what Nikki was saying. I understand what my daughter is thinking, and maybe she's not all wrong.
Maybe. I mean, maybe not. I do want to share this one video that Adam Kinzinger had, and I'll leave it because this is the best. So this is, Adam Kinzinger. He is a Republican that we love because he hates Trump. You'll have to watch it if you're listening. It's not going to be as funny. You've seen the movie Step Brothers? Have you seen the movie Step Brothers?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's an old movie.
Okay.
So it's around the table, and there's a Gen X Democrat, there's a Trump voter, there's Fox News. They're all identified. And this just kind of goes, it's kind of discussing the tariffs, and it's just really, really funny, and kind of how a Trump voter might be feeling as the tariff war is draining their stock market.
I gotta say, I could have called this one.
No.
Yeah.
Is it our fault?
It is not your fault.
Whose fault is it? Oh, look, I want to fucking know.
Let's cut this shit. It is directly your fault.
It is absolutely 150% your fault.
It's their fault.
Please don't cry like that.
Let's grow up.
I'm going to throw up. I think I'm going to throw
Don't
up.
throw up.
Come on. I threw up. Oh, this is ugly.
Hey, guys. This is not right.
All right, dipshits. Right here.
So basically, it's just Trump supporters basically asking, is it our fault? Yes, it's your fault. Like, Trump voters, you voted for this. This is the situation in which we have found ourselves. Yes, it is you. Gen X Democrats called it. But yes, I mean, I think it is what it is, and that's all it can be. So
since we're playing movie clips with the F word, can I just play you one of my, this is actually from Grace and Frankie, that TV show with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
Oh, yeah.
And I tried to recreate it because I was going to say it to my husband, like as a perfect comeback for something. And
I've seen that clip before too. Yeah. I love that clip. So yeah, we could just say that to Trump too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is just, the situation is a Trump voter created problem that we will continue to talk about ad nauseum. So I have two more topics that we want to talk about. One, I want to play a quick clip that I want to talk about. And that is about our favorite couple, Kim McAllister, the Obamas. So, and it's an interesting topic. So you understand that the Obamas have had divorce rumors swirling, which are total BS. Okay. It is. So I never believed it. Anybody didn't believe it, but because she didn't go to, the Carter funeral. And of course she did not go to the inauguration. There have been like these rumors swirling that there's trouble in paradise, right? Like there's something going on. So she gave an interview. Well, she was on a podcast and ABC7 was playing it. I want you to listen to this news report about what she says. And I love it. I love what she was saying because, they only say this about women. They always say
Michelle Obama is putting to bed rumors that she and the former president are divorcing.
Now is the time for me to start asking myself these hard questions of who do I truly want to be every day?
Speaking on actress Sophia Bush's podcast, Mrs. Obama, now 61, spoke about her newfound independence. The speculation about her marriage grew in January when former President Obama showed up solo to President Trump's inauguration and to Jimmy Carter's funeral.
We start actually finally like going, what am I doing? Who am I doing this for? And if it doesn't fit into the sort of stereotype of what people think we should do, then it gets labeled as something negative and horrible.
She was in Hawaii on vacation during Carter's funeral, and she says she chose not to attend the Trump inauguration. She says not being tied to political life and with her daughters now grown, she has more time for herself.
They couldn't even fathom that I was making a choice for myself, that they had to assume that my husband and I are divorcing. This couldn't be a grown woman just making a set of decisions for herself.
She recently started a podcast with her brother and continues to work with her production company. As for their 32-year marriage, former President Obama acknowledges their need for fun.
I was in a deep deficit with my wife, so I have been trying to dig myself out of that hole by doing occasionally fun things.
And I think that's a fun thing to say about a marriage. 31 years is a long time to be married to somebody. But this is the question that I had. If Barack Obama hadn't gone to something that Michelle Obama went to by herself, I don't think anybody would have said, oh my God, divorce rumors. Obviously an inauguration is a big thing, but I don't think anybody should have gone to that friggin' inauguration that was a Democrat because they're all friggin' hypocrites. Not going to Jimmy Carter's funeral, I thought, was a little odd, right? I mean, but still, she didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying, I don't want to go and not going. And it not being about your marriage, right?
Democrats are all about manners and decorum and doing, being polite and doing the nice thing. But guess who doesn't? Trump and family, Trump and friends. They don't.
Exactly.
So why would Michelle Obama want to put herself at a funeral where she has to sit right next to Donald Trump?
Exactly.
After all the things he said, would you want to sit next to the guy responsible for January 6th?
No.
Would you want to sit next to the guy responsible for policing ideas coming into America, basically crapping all over the Constitution, 100% no. I mean, first of all, I have to respect her opinion and her, you know, her ability to stand up for herself and do what she wants to do. Not expected. If you're a first lady, you're supposed to just do what you're supposed to do. That was her husband's job. Her husband was the president. If that's his career or work obligation that he has to go attend these things, great. Not hers. Guess who no one says anything about? Melania. Have you seen her around? She's not even at the White House. She doesn't even want to be the first lady. She's like, you know what? You are on your own, pal.
Right. So why does Michelle have to do it? If the current first lady doesn't have to do it, why the hell does she? And you know, I think it's great. You know what I mean? I don't think that there's anything wrong with the Obama's marriage. I never did. I was never buying any of that. And I think that Barack's last comment about a deep deficit, it's because he's been president and he's been, you know, touring to help Biden and Kamala Harris and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, you know what, dude? I don't need to do any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like, can we be done with that? I am done with the politics. I'm done with this nonsense. The Democratic Party is like dealing with this. I want to do something for me, right? I'm 61 years old. And yes, the country is important, but so am I. You know what I mean? I only have one life too. And I want to do things for me too. And I am just as important as the entire nation. You know what I mean? I don't have the weight of the entire nation on my shoulders all the time. So
that's not okay. If you're a woman, you do everything for everyone else. It doesn't matter what you want.
Right, exactly.
She talked in that podcast about being a mom, about spending years devoting your life to your husband, his career, your daughters, and you get to a point where finally you can make it about more of the things that you want.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know if this means I'm doing something right, but I was driving a kid home from the movies today, and we were talking about allowing your kids to be more independent and doing things by themselves, right? Letting them go into a store and buy something by themselves. And the ways that I've tried to kind of push them to do stuff so that they can make these, you think it's a little decision, but all of these decisions they have to make when they go into a store and what to buy, what to do, they add up to, I think, decisions where, to moments where when they need to make a big decision, they're better able to handle it.
Right.
Without me being around. And Julia looks at me and she goes, well, yeah. And also you have a life other than us, right?
Exactly.
And I was like, thank you. I said, do I really? But I do. Yes. I mean, we take this time every week to have these things that we want to talk about and things that we want to do. Absolutely. There's a life beyond giving to everyone else. 100%. And if that's Michelle's time, that's her time to do that. Good.
And I love how they mentioned her girls are all grown up because it's hard. Because when your kids are young and even now, I love the fact that, obviously I hated the fact that KGO went under and I still, there is still a bit of the identity crisis, right? Like I'm in my mid 40s. If they didn't go under, I'd still be in the midst of a radio career that I don't have anymore. I love working at the school, but I also love being home more. I love the fact that if something happens with the kids, I'm here. Somebody's here. And I wouldn't have had that at all if I still was working in San Francisco. So that reality is completely different. At the same time, I'm also in my mid 40s. I still have a life. Like just because they're in the midst of a very transitional life, high school, going to high school, preparing for college, does not mean I'm still not going through a transition in my life. And I shouldn't be preparing for things and still trying new things and figuring out what's next. I was listening to a local music station here in San Jose. And a guy, one of the DJs, is turning 40. And he's talking about this. He's like, 40, I thought was old when I was a kid. But, there's so many different things I want to do in my 40s. And so many people have said life begins in your 40s. And it's still true. Like, I thought 40 was hella old. And now I'm like, it's not freaking old because I'm
not so old after all.
There's still things to do and try and learn and do all these things. And I think Michelle's like 61 and 61 is not old. And none of it is old if you keep learning and trying new things and doing all of these things. So I respect her. You know what I mean? Not throwing a middle finger to Washington, but being like, that is not my entire life. Just because Barack Obama was president and I was first lady does not mean I need to show up for all your BS. So kick rock, do my own thing. You know what I mean?
Yvonne writes, she did show up for Kamala.
She did.
But you know what? Because she wanted to.
Right.
And she gets to pick. And she didn't have to show up for Kamala.
No, she did not. And some people said she waited a bit long. And I'm like, she showed up when she wanted to. When she wanted to.
And she was amazing. She was magic when she was speaking.
Exactly.
Absolutely. She she did it because she wanted to. Guess what she doesn't want to do? Sit next to Trump at a funeral.
Nope. I wouldn't want to either. Ugh.
I mean, I think, I know, technically, right? You go to the funeral to pay your respects to the deceased. But they say that the service is really more for the survivors, that the dead person doesn't know that the funeral's going on. So really, if she wanted to pay her respects to Carter in her own personal private way so that she didn't have to sit next to the asshat, perfect.
Exactly. So I respect her. I love Michelle Obama. You know that. And again, she did her duty. She did it. She doesn't have to do it anymore. Like, she's done. She paid her dues. Like, bye. And so I love that she's doing her own podcast with her brother. I think that's awesome. So yeah. And I don't think they're getting a divorce. I mean, come on. So anyways, I just wanted that. And again, it's always harder for women to stand their ground than men. Because if it was Barack Obama, no one would even be asking the question. So, okay. And then you have a question regarding what? Manners. Good manners. I can't tell you the number of times where I've taken a kid somewhere that wasn't one of my own. And I insist that my own say thank you as well. Of course.
But I've taken a kid somewhere, or I've paid for something, or I've given the kid a great day, or I've even just simply given them a ride home from school.
Okay.
And the car comes to a stop, kid gets out, walks away, and that's it.
Ooh.
And they don't say thank you. And it's honestly, it's most of them. So
really?
Today I look at actually it was Julia who looked and said, she didn't say thank you. And I said, yeah. She goes, that really bothers me. And I said, because Julia was the one who took the kids to the movie, right?
Okay.
And I said, well, yeah, I go, but don't you be the kid that doesn't say thank you.
Right.
I said, I want you to be the kid who says thank you so much it becomes annoying.
Right.
I want you to say profuse thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Send a text afterward to say thank you as well. Like, over thank the person. That's what I'm hoping for. So I don't know if people are teaching their kids to be grateful enough.
I mean, it's what's really hard. So a good example. So my son was at the library. It just made me think of this because you were telling me. Okay, so my son's at the library, and the library is like right around the corner from my house, very, very close. And he's like, "Hey, can you take my friend home from the library?" I'm thinking, because the library is right around the corner and the school's right around the corner, that the house is right around the corner. And I don't know if you were following it because you're up in Petaluma. We had a VTA strike that went on for like a hell of a long time.
I was following
And so, unbeknownst to me, this kid did not live in the district. So because of the VTA strike, he did not have a ride home when he normally takes the bus. So it was like a 20-minute drive that I had no idea I was going to be taking. Right. And so the kid hops in the back, and Dylan asked me again when he's like, "Is it okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, just give me the address." And I plug it in, and all of a sudden Waze is like 20 minutes. I was like, I had said yes already. I didn't say anything to the kid because, it wasn't his fault, right? And so they're sitting in the back just gabbing, and I'm just like, okay. And it was also like 5:30 in the evening, like commute hours, right? I'm hopping on the freeway, like I signed myself up for this, but whatever, right? And so I was literally thinking the same thing you were, Kim. I'm like, if this effing kid steps out of my car and does not say thank you, not that I would have said anything, but I'm like, and I was like, I wasn't going to say anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, so I pull up, and he gets out of the car, but he looked at me. He's like, thank you so much. And he got out and I was like, okay, thank you. You know what I mean? It was one of those things where I was like, is he or isn't he? Is he or isn't he? And he did. And I was really, really like happy that he did. And I said, no problem. And I left. But yeah, I can, because the joke with my kids always is when they go to anybody's house, not that I have to, but I always say, don't forget your pleases and thank yous.
Right.
And they go, yes, I know. But it's just because, and I should stop saying it because I know that they know, but it's just something that I kind of like just always just kind of throw out because I don't want my kid to be one of those kids that doesn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and my kids know, even when we go out to eat, I tell them, I'm like, look the person in the eye when you order. And say please, like I would like whatever, Diet Coke, please, or whatever, because I'm trying to. Kids nowadays also like have a hard time with eye contact, right? Because and it's our fault. And I'm using the R like universal because looking down, phones, all that. Look the person in the eye, that kind of thing. That all that sort of thing. So we work on it constantly. But yeah, I mean, I would say that the kids that I encounter more often than not are polite. I will say that. Maybe it's just the luck of the draw, but I will say more often than not, the kids that I do things for do say thank you. And that makes my heart warm, is that they're being taught good manners.
Used to take this person home every day from school. The mom would drop my child and her child off at school, and I was pick up and I would drop the child off at their house. Never said thank you.
Ever?
When they got out, never.
Did they say bye, or was it just like an Uber?
I would holler out the window, have a great afternoon. And that would be that. And it's funny, then we would roll away and then we would start making jokes about, thank you, you're welcome, like all these kind of pointing out.
Right.
But I think it's more common. And I don't know if it's kids are uneasy or it feels awkward for them to say it, or if they really just legitimately haven't been taught to say it. I don't know, but it's so weird because it's just not, it's out of my experience, right? That how I would want my kids to act.
Well, I mean, I think it's also weird to get out of somebody's car and not say anything at all.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I was making the Uber joke, but I say thank you and have a nice evening to my Uber. Like I'm
absolutely,
but I'm polite to people. Like I'm
right. Yes.
I don't even think it's overly polite. I
No.
think it's good and it's not even manners. It's just interacting with human beings. It's
Thank you.
hi, how are you? It's just common interactions with people. I don't even think it's manners. It's like you're a person. I'm acknowledging your existence. Like, I don't really think it's manners, but I understand like some people think that it's manners, but it's just not.
But now go ahead. Now I do the same thing that you do, which is basically, calculate the odds in my head at the time of drop off. Is this a kid that's going to say thank you or not?
Right. But I don't want to judge a kid like maybe they just weren't taught, because that's what I would think it is. Like your parents failed you. I'm sorry. Teacher Lori says, I taught manners to all my classes 4 to 8. One girl, a 6th grader, told me her mom rewarded her with movie tickets when she said, may I please and thank you for something. Mom impressed with manners I taught. I mean, I guess that's a good way of like encouraging it at first. I wouldn't do it all the time though.
I think may I please and thank you is the bare minimum.
Well, I think in the beginning,
buy your kid movie tickets for that
every single time. No, at the beginning,
show me you've done something extraordinary with extreme kindness for me to go, oh my gosh, I want to give you a prize because you've been so amazing. Basic manners, come on.
I mean, I'm assuming it was at the beginning. I can't imagine it was every single time, right? That would be weird. I mean, I don't know. Hegel Twitter says, be the kid who talks to her friend about saying thank you. I mean, would Julia do that? Like, kind of be like,
yeah.
Hey, Julia,
would you tell if a friend didn't say thank you, would you talk to them? Like maybe would you talk to them about saying thank you?
What do you mean?
Like, would you tell your friend, hey, you should try saying thank you, or, teach them about manners?
That's not my job. That's their parents' job.
Oh, not my job. That's their parents' job.
But like, you could be like, you're rude.
Yeah, you wouldn't say you're rude.
Well, I know, but like, I feel like when someone like doesn't say please or thank you, like it just makes me respect them a little less. Like I just respect my friends who say it more. Like I keep it inside.
Well, ask her like, I guess. I mean, I guess leading by example. Your friends don't notice when you say please and thank you.
I have one friend who like doesn't say please and thank you, and I will I'll be in the car with her and I'll just like overly thank my parents and see if she'll catch on. And she doesn't.
Yeah. Well.
So
yeah, she wasn't taught properly. Okay. Well, there you go. I don't know. Yeah. I just feel like it's hard if you're not. But I agree with Julia. That's the parent's job. Yeah. Like,
agree.
You can't. And honestly, it's like. And I'm not trying to compare children to pets, but it's a training. It's kind of a training thing. It's you do it over and over again, and then it becomes second nature, right? Like you have to just instill it in them, like cleaning their room or putting dishes in the dishwasher. Like if you don't do it, it becomes a bad habit. And so if the parents probably don't say please and thank you.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they probably. I'm not trying to be mean. They probably have rude ass parents. Like the kids mirror parenting. Like. I would think so.
I think so. I wish, and I love the moms I have this relationship with that text you and will tell you like the real skinny with your kid. I would love for a mom to call me and say, or text me if my kid didn't say thank you and say, "Oop, there was no thank you today."
No, I would feel devastated,
mortified, but I want to know, right?
No.
Like, don't.
Oh my God,
I want to know. There should be like a little parent report that's necessary after every play date.
I would be devastated. If somebody texts me like your daughter did not say thank you today, I'd be like, oh. But
okay,
true.
So I have a same kid I dropped off today. The mom did tell me that Jacob went to open their refrigerator on a play date, like opened their refrigerator in the kitchen. Didn't ask first, just opened the fridge.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
And I want to know that because he grew up during COVID, maybe had fewer play dates. Maybe I missed the one where I tell you don't open anyone's else's refrigerator at their house without, being invited
that is
to
true.
do so. So how would I know that he's missing that key piece of the pie unless I was told?
Yeah.
Because it's okay for him to open it here.
My hand is raised. I have a comment.
Oh, Julia has another comment.
I think it's normal to open your friends' refrigerators.
You think it's rude?
I think it's normal.
Without asking first?
Well, I just go over to Henry's house and open his refrigerator.
But you need to ask first.
Well, also the
water. See, clearly I've missed this.
The water's in there though, like the water dispenser.
Oh.
So
no,
do you ask if you can get some water?
You ask before you get water?
But it's Henry's house. It's
different. Okay. Well, that's different.
Well, if it's a certain type of friend, like, no. Okay. Well, that's different. That's different. Yeah. This is an interesting comment though. Vicky from Sausalito says manners are not the same as kindness. Remember Eddie Haskell. That's funny because there is a difference between kids that just fake it like, hi, Miss McAllister. How are you, Miss McAllister? And they're just an asshole behind the scenes, right?
Oh, I'm sure there are those, right?
Yeah, right. So you're like, no. But you can spot those freaking kids
totally.
a mile away. You're like, nah. And I could always spot those kids. No, Eddie Haskell's, I feel like you could smell them a mile away, So
I hit the fridge whenever I visit.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I always tell kids when they come to my house, I usually when especially if there's a lot of kids, I go, help yourself to the fridge or just to kind of make a blanket, like, because I'm not getting up. I was like, look, I ain't getting up and I ain't serving people. Like, if you want something out of the fridge, or I tell my kids, I'm like, just get them whatever they need. Like, it's open. But yeah, if like somebody walked into my house that I didn't know and just like beeline to my fridge and my cabinet, I'm like, who's this rude ass? You know what I mean? Like, no.
Totally.
But that'd be weird. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I think that it's just taught. So, but I would definitely kind of, for that one kid, I don't know. I would just be like, you're welcome. I would kind of say it within earshot. Maybe you have to be the one to help, train the kid.
Help her. Yeah, it takes a village, right?
Exactly. It takes a village. All right. It also takes a village to keep this show going. So I want to thank everyone for being here every Thursday night and for donating to our super chat, because we have a lot of donors tonight and a lot of thank yous that we need to give. Luis, you've been a great donor today. Donated $5 and a lot of comments about Trump. You donated $5 once, $5 twice, $5 3 times, Luis. Thank you so very much. Jim came in with a $10 donation as well. Thank you so much. And Sam came in with a $10 donation. So we appreciate you. You guys, thank you so very much. We cannot do the show without you. We are 100% crowdfunded. So all of the links to all the ways to support the show are, as always, in the show notes. If you click the more button right in the bottom there, after the description and everything, you will see all the ways to support us. We have a Patreon going, all the ways. We love PayPal as well. I know so many of you do a monthly donation through PayPal. And so we love, Karen, a bunch of you love to donate that way. So we love the donations that way. So thank you guys for always supporting us so much. Also share the show because we love getting new subscribers. 150 more and we're at 5,000. So if we can do that, that would be amazing. And of course, there's the delicious way to support the show. AuntieTabby's.com. Guava barbecue sauce. Delicious on pretty much everything. I put it on everything. And if you go to AuntieTabby's.com and use the coupon code NickKim, you get 10% off. So you go to AuntieTabby's.com, use the coupon code NickKim, get 10% off that guava barbecue sauce and help support the show. All right, guys, we will see you back here next week. Hopefully, I don't know. I know it's going to be freaking crazy, but we love you guys. Take care of each other. And please, if you have any comments, you can email us. Our email address is in there as well. Take care of each other, and we love you. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're all so the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.